I do
Or
that.
two.
The other one was like an AI companion. Anyway,
That's new.
I know. That's why I was confused. Welcome everybody. I'm gonna do a quick intro for us. There's a few people that haven't hopped onto our Oily Undergrounds before, but the band is back together. It's been an extended months long hiatus that everyone needed. So we're really happy to be here. My name is Sarah Loveland. I am an adult ICU nurse and have been for about 13 years. I graduate in August and I will be an acute care nurse practitioner. So I'm super excited about that. I got into holistic stuff about 7 or 8 years ago, and here we are. And I love bridging the two because I think the two are very, very necessary. Brooke Gann, who's going to be leading the science kind of portion of this call, I met at work. She's also an adult ICU nurse. She retired herself with a network marketing and social media gig, and she's our homestead goddess, basically. So if you have any questions about that, let her know. And then Sarah Jones is a little bit of everything, but she is a certified natural health practitioner and a mama of four and a homeschooling queen as well. So we're kind of coming at it from lots of years of experience and a lot of different perspectives, which is why we love doing this the way that we're doing. And tonight we're going to talk about allergies, and Brooke Ann is going to hit us off. So questions, you can throw them in the chat box so you don't forget. And then after everyone does their little spiel, we will go through the questions again, but we will get to your questions.
Hey, pause. I've got quite a few messages of people saying that the link is not working for them.
Do you want me to post it in drops or just shoot it to you?
Yeah, whatever. You can shoot it to me. Whatever.
Yep, I'll do that right now.
Okay. Proceed.
Okay, proceeding. This is going to be, like we said, kind of a down and dirty. I want it to be very fast. We are going to touch on a lot of topics, but I am not going to be able to fully dive into a lot of them. So I want you to take everything I say with a grain of salt and know, yes, I could have gone deeper. Yes, I know that this is a multifaceted thing, but I've only got so much time. So grain of salt. I'm going to start with something that I don't think anybody's ever seen because I just saw this for the first time in my life, and it was extremely helpful for kind of understanding your body and your body's processes. So you will have to look at me because I will be drawing on a graph. And does it say it the right direction for you guys? Can you read the words or are they backwards? Not
Nope,
that it really matters. You can read it. Okay. So here is a graph of your life. You are born up here. And for all intents and purposes, we're going to say you are born and you're born at 100% health, right? That's where you're supposed to start. Yes, I know maybe some of you came into the earth kicking and screaming and it wasn't pretty, but just bear with me and work with the analogy. It'll all pan out. And so basically what happens is you are born, and as you progress through life, you are exposed to all kinds of stuff via your environment, via the food that you're in, and even just like physical stressors, traumatic events in your life. Like those things all take a toll on your life. And so you start at this perfect 100% bill of health. But what ends up happening is as you're exposed to things like fragrance or chemicals in your cleaning or a bunch of Bath and Body Works, or your school has really bad asbestos and really bad mold, or you grow up in a home that's kind of nasty, what's happening is you're slowly dipping away from this line of health because as you're exposed to all of these environmental situations, what happens is it steals from your body. And not only does it steal like nutrients from your body because your body needs those nutrients to balance and to stay, it's constantly trying to get itself back up. And so it's trying to get itself back to that point, and it's using all of these nutrients. And so great, you eat pretty healthy most of the time, you're able to get yourself back up, but now you work in a job where you have to use hand sanitizer every single day, and now that's getting into your system. You're trying to eat really, really healthy, but what you don't know is that your body is actually really triggered by preservatives and additives. And so you're slowly, what happens over time, and again, we'll explain a little bit more about all of this, but over time, what happens is your body slowly isn't able to keep up as well anymore. And you finally kind of bottom out into this line of symptoms. So for some points of life, maybe you feel a little worse, but then you get better, a little bit worse, but then you get better. Your body's trying to maintain, trying to kind of find a middle ground so that you're not having symptoms. It's trying to preserve itself. It's trying to use the food you're eating, the healthy things that you're trying to do to get you back up. But the problem is when you're so exposed to environmental toxins, you're so exposed to poor quality of food. The quality of food that you're eating is also loaded with things like preservatives. You know, you've got dye in your candies, you've got dye and preservatives in juice and tap water. That's not great. Like there's so many of these things that are small little insults that they don't seem very big, but they end up over time getting you down to this line where when you have symptoms, it means that your body is no longer able to keep up with all of this crap. And so you start to feel symptomatic. And this can be portrayed in a lot of other health issues, but specifically for what we're talking about tonight, we're going to be talking about now all of a sudden you have allergies. I know that some kiddos are born with allergies, and a lot of what happens is in utero, a lot of this is happening to them in utero so that when they're born, when they come earthside, they're born right here at a symptomatic phase because their body's already had so much insult, so much injury that when they're born, they already start at this symptomatic line. So what we want to do tonight is we want to explain what is happening to your body. What's the science of this downward graph? And then not only that, what can we do to get you back up? We're not going to be able to get back up to, your birth. That would be delightful and wonderful. But what we want to do is we want you get you out of symptoms. We want to get you healed and we want to get you back up to as close to born as we possibly can. Tracking? Great. So let's talk about during those years, what is happening to your body. So all of those things that I talked about, kind of real quick at you, all of these environmental toxins, things in our Bath and Body Works candles, things in our Glade plugins, things in our food, things that we're putting on, our perfumes, all of these things, additives in our food. Your body has to process those things. When you put it on or put it in, it is soaking in to your body and into your bloodstream. And your body is designed and geared to protect itself, to treat any sort of a foreign invader appropriately and figure out what to do with that. And so all of those things, all of these, I should have kept this open, all of these are foreign invaders that you are introducing into your body. Whenever there's a foreign invader introduced into your body, to dumb down the science, to keep it really simple, your body produces histamines. This is normal. This is good. It is your body's defense mechanism, for lack of a better word. You kind of want this response. That's a good thing to have. But you don't want this response to be happening 24/7 through your entire life. But if you are 24/7 putting on just a little bit of perfume, eating just a few extra of those things, you are telling your body constantly more histamines. I need you to produce more histamines. Not only that, you're also telling your liver, which is your main organ for detoxification. Yes, your kidneys does a little bit of that too, but your liver is kind of your big one. You're telling your liver, work harder, work a little bit more, work a little bit more. And now your liver is using extra nutrients to try and keep up with this added demand that you've put on it. And so not only are you kicking out all of these histamines, but you're also starting to slow down your liver and bog down your body's ability to detoxify all of these foreign invaders. Because basically what happens is your body sees a foreign invader, figures out how to get it into your bloodstream, process it through your liver, and get it out through your pee, poop, or your sweat. But if you have too much to handle, or you have an organ that is too tired to process, things start to back up. Things start to get stuck in your body. And after time, that overload of histamines, that overload of work turns into inflammation. And so these two things are kind of happening. One, your liver is getting exhausted. And when it gets exhausted and can't keep up with the toxins anymore, your body actually will store it internally. If there's too much to process and it can't keep up, it stores your toxins into fat cells and tries to push them into the back closet so that you're out of sight, out of mind is kind of what your body does, because it's just the best that it can do, because you've hit this threshold where it just can't keep up anymore. You're in this symptom phase. It can't do it anymore. And so it stores these toxins. The problem is those toxins are still leaching inflammation, which triggers more histamines, which triggers more exhaustion. The other thing that's happening is, I kind of just mentioned it, but inflammation starts to take over everywhere. And when inflammation takes over everywhere and your body can no longer keep up, what ends up happening is your body's ability to register a friend from a foe, that is wiped out. It can no longer recognize friend from foe, and now everything is foe. And so when you have a body that can't recognize friend from foe, now you're allergic to things. Now suddenly, when you had no problem with eggs before, you're wickedly allergic to eggs in your mid-20s, and you're like, I have no idea why. But the catalyst was I moved across country, and now, this apparently is just the stress of moving, or the eggs here are weird. Well, it's the stress of moving. You were already at this threshold, and then you moved, and it was too much for your body with all the other insults that was going on, and now you're allergic to eggs, or whatever the situation may be. And so when you have this widespread inflammation, your body stops registering appropriately and starts to say everything is an enemy, which is why people develop just this allergy. And then next year it's worse. I feel worse. And then I feel worse. And now not only do I feel worse every year, but every other year, I'm adding a new allergy. I'm adding a new symptom. I'm adding a new struggle. The result is that something has to give. And unfortunately, a lot of us are getting diagnosed with like adult onset allergic reactions. Sadly, also because our kiddos are so exposed to so much more than probably we were when we were younger and growing up, this is happening to them. They're hitting that symptom threshold way faster than we are. And we're getting kids who are super allergic to stuff at 4, 5, and 6 years old. Again, same processes, they just hit that threshold faster. And so to kind of summarize what I said and kind of close out this with analogy, your body only has so many soldiers. Let's just say it has 1,000 soldiers, and it can only send them to so many places at a time. The problem is, like any army, you need to have them fed. You need to have them ready to go, like slept, energized, nourished, all of those things. And so if you have all of these soldiers who are constantly trying to just keep the inflammation at bay, well, now they're not going to be able to keep up the status quo. And so other things start slipping. Your immune system is going to go to pot because it's one of the, it's not necessary to survival. Your body is going to focus those soldiers on the things that are crucial to keeping you alive. Your heart, your lung, your critical organs, that's where a lot of your body's going to start focusing a lot of its energy. So if it's too tired, it's going to send all of those to keep you alive at the main place, and all of these other things are going to go to the wayside. And then the other thing is, if they're not nourished, if you're not getting enough food to help combat all of these, all of these things that have been happening in your life, what's going to happen is your soldiers are going to have to start stealing. They're going to start stealing from other organs, and kind of what's the adage? You borrow from Peter to pay Paul, or you steal from Peter to pay Paul. That's what starts happening inside of your body. And so now not only do you have allergies, but now you have a thyroid condition as well. And it's because your soldiers are trying so hard to just keep you at baseline. But if you're not giving them enough of what they need, they will steal it to go pay for things. It's another reason why a lot of women in the initial postpartum years start to have wild health diagnoses. It's because you just tried to have a baby, and that takes every bit of nutrition that you could possibly imagine. And if you're already in a very depleted state, then your body is going to steal left, right, and center and leave you with things like hair loss and brittle nails and skin issues and thyroid problems and digestive issues and new onsets of allergies. Because again, something has to give when you get to this symptom line. And the very short version, and I'm going to pass it off so that we're good on time, is that allergies, if I could just summarize them for us, it's really just an indicator of extremely burned out, exhausted, and ill-nourished internals. And so if you're struggling with allergies, it's probably not that you're actually just allergic. It's probably that there's a deeper issue going on. And that's what we want to address. Now that you know the science of what happens, we want to talk about, okay, how do I repair that? How do I get my soldiers to be a well-oiled fighting machine? How do I re-nourish and repair what's been going on? How do I get myself above that symptom line? And that's where we're going to be moving into next. And Sarah Jones is going to kind of walk us through some of that.